Our next guest was a center in the league for 14 NBA seasons. He's the NBA Nation brand ambassador. He's known for shattering backboards when he dunked, which eventually led to the league using breakaway rims. You know about that. Darryl Dawkins, a.k.a. Chocolate Thunder, is here on behalf of the NBA. We really appreciate you being here. And I know that you're here to promote the All-Star Celebrity Game and All-Star festivities in general.
But I'm also here to talk a little bit about the map. They have a new map for New York to talk about some of the great players that was here. Connie Hawkins, Connie Archibald.
All right. Well, we definitely can get to that. We got plenty of time with you here. My first question.
Oh, you do? How long y'all got?
We got all. You can sit here for the rest of the show.
We don't have all day.
You don't have all day.
All right.
Go ahead.
Give me 5 minutes.
No,
I gotta go around the back with
No,
it.
you got plenty of time. Okay, so
No
let's
problem.
talk about the dunk contest specifically. I was just going through the list of folks who are participating. Well, who would you like to see in the dunk contest? Because the lure, the fascination with it is no longer there.
Well, you know, I take the hits because when you're a big boy, you're gonna get hit. When the dunk was at its highest rate, Doc, Dominique Wilkins, Bud Webb, Larry Nance, all these guys was in it, and it was big for the NBA. Now it's come down a little bit, and we're looking for ways. No, not a little bit, a lot. We're looking for ways to try to get it back and get it exciting again. I don't know. I'm rooting for the plumber in the whole thing.
Plumlee, maybe.
Yeah, I call him the plumber. Yeah, he don't seem to be as afraid of anything. And if he want to make a real name for himself, he got to get out there and get busy.
Are you of the mindset that some bigger names should be participating in the slam dunk contest?
I don't want to overstep my jurisdiction, but between me and you, you know, we can always talk. I would like to see the bigger names in there. I would like to see LeBron in there. I would like to see Kobe in there. I would like to see that. I'll take a hit for it because that's when it's so exciting. That's when it was so big with Doc and all those guys.
But Kobe did it, and LeBron never tried. And maybe LeBron sort of passed his days of being in the dunk contest.
Well, maybe he did, and the way I visualize things is it's all about money. Sneakers. If you win this sneaker and he wearing that one, he outdunk you, everybody's buying another sneaker now. You got to look at it the way it is.
Well, I mean, Blake Griffin put himself on the commercial map, right?
Yeah, Blake got busy. Blake got busy. I want to get back 3 more inches out of him, and we'll really have some white chocolate flying around here. That's what I'm going to call it.
Okay.
Let me transition to some NBA basketball.
Go right ahead.
Now. The Philadelphia 76ers. Last season, at the very least, they were an abomination. We all know this. A lot of people felt they were throwing the season. This year, even though they've only won 12 games thus far, you see the effort. You see them clearly trying, and I don't think they can be accused of that right now. Okay. There's been an accumulation of young talent, but I want to know, how are you feeling about the direction that the Philadelphia 76ers have clearly taken over the last couple of years, or year and a half?
If I was to go old school, I would say, as long as we beat this team or that team, the rivalry teams, like we had a rivalry with New York, we had one with Boston. As long as we can beat those teams sometime, I feel good about it. I know they're working hard because they wouldn't be winning at all. Philadelphia is too big a city to have bad basketball history. And they got to get it back on track fast because people find other things to do with it.
How much time are you talking right now?
I'm hoping within 2 years we can see something happening. I didn't say be great. I said see something happening. That I could see a guy in the grocery store and he'll say, yeah, man, throw the tickets in the bag, man. But before that, they were saying, don't put the tickets in there to make the meat go bad. That's what I'm looking for.
You played for a long time a position once known as center. We don't have many centers left in this league. We thought we had maybe a great one in Dwight Howard. Your thoughts on what Dwight is and is not so far?
Well, you know, I hate to criticize the guy, but Dwight has gotten very cool now. Mild-mannered. I like the hungry Dwight that came in and dunked on everybody and blocked shots and ran the floor. Playing center, you got to be ready to take a beating one night or give a beating the next night. And we don't have a lot of guys doing that. Most guys now, 4, playing 5. I guess they want to play with more speed. Do miss their position because guys don't play with their back to the basket. And that's one thing a center could do.
All right, well, as mentioned, you're here on behalf of the NBA All-Star Game and the Celebrity All-Star Game. What did you want to mention earlier? You were talking.
No, we're talking about a map that we have out now, talking about some of the great guys that played in New York, got New York ties. The map is from all 5 boroughs. And we got Connie Hawkins, we got Doc, we talk about Red Holzman and Red Auerbach, all the guys that were in New York, New Jersey, or wherever. But a guy that I love to talk about is the man Hawthorne Wingo. Now, here's a guy they say never should have got to the NBA, but the fans loved him. They loved him. Now, you got to go on your app, your mobile device, get on the app, and pull up the map. Over 140 pictures people ain't seen yet. And talking about some of the great things that happened in this city.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Darryl Dawkins. It was a pleasure to have you. Enjoy your time on campus. Hopefully you can get back home without any snow problems.
Home? Where's that?
I don't know, wherever that could be.
Gotta go home today?
Yeah, I think so. Coming up next, folks, we're staying with New York theme. Knicks owner James Dolan sent a strong email response to a longtime fan turned critic. He told him, root for that other New York City team because we don't want you. Why in the world would he say that? We discuss it after the break. We'll be right back in just a few moments. The Raptors denied Greg Popovich his 1,000th win last night as they beat the Spurs 87-82. It was San Antonio's worst shooting performance of the season, but Pop didn't seem to mind missing the milestone too much. He was seen laughing the loss off with Dwayne Casey after the game. There you have it. Good old buddies. Skip, do you have a problem with that?
Do I have a problem? This is Stephen A. I still haven't gotten over it. I had a huge problem with it. I am a Spurs fan, but I'm going to be an objective Spurs fan here. I don't like it when Coach Pop reacts that way after his Spurs had just blown a 3-point lead in the last 2 minutes of that game. They stunk it up down the stretch. They got outscored by Toronto 10-2 because they threw the ball away and they offensive fouled. And it was just the usual litany of unspurs-like errors down the stretch that led to them losing their 8th late close game prior to the All-Star break this year. It's just hard to watch because they're developing a habit of losing late close games. And I'm wondering, since this was the first game of the rodeo road trip, the annual rodeo road trip, in which they usually come together and take off, this was potentially Pop's 1,000th victory. I thought there would be some urgency last night to win this game and to start to take off. And instead, he shared a big belly laugh with Dwayne Casey as they walked off the floor. I'm assuming because Dwayne Casey sort of chess mastered him on the last play when Tim Duncan threw an inbounds from side out of bounds, and they tried to leak out Ginobili to the backside the way they beat Golden State in a playoff game 2 years ago. And Dwayne Casey was all over it. Ha, ha, ha. Where is the sense of urgency? And I know Greg Popovich could not care less what I say on TV about him, but I'm just saying, at what point is he going to get mad about this instead of get happy about this? I've just seen enough. This team is sleepwalking through the first half of the year so far, and if this keeps up, it's going to get slowly but surely uglier.
As a Spurs fan, specifically about you being a Spurs fan, you're one of the biggest brats I've ever seen in my life. You are unbelievable. This is a 4-time champion. This man is as fiery as they get, and when it's time, it's time. Wait a minute.
Well, he's an ogre during the timeout interviews,
Zip it.
right?
I'm talking because here's the deal. You can't sit there and talk about my San Antonio Spurs, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that, and sweat over a game in the regular season.
8 of them.
February.
8 of them.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
What if
matter.
they miss the playoffs?
Oh, then come talk to me then.
All right.
But right now, their history, this team that hasn't lost 50 games, hasn't won less than 50 games since 1997, with the exception of a 50-game lockout short season when they won 37. I think that there's cause to pause and say, excuse me, this is Greg Popovich, one of the great, if not the greatest coach in the game today. And because the outcome has been decided And we don't know what he said to his team in the locker room, but because of a guy that coaches in Canada that he's not going to see but twice a year. Oh my God, he's sitting there and joking it up after a long That's a big deal.
It was funny.
That's a big
It was
deal.
the funniest thing. They got outscored 10-2 in the last
So in other words,
it was hilarious.
Greg Popovich, a 4-time champion, a perennial contender, is supposed to sit there and act the way you want him to act.
Exactly. Exactly. I know.
Time to go.
Yeah, what? They're in 7th place right now. Here come the Pelicans.
We've heard it all.
Here come the Thunder.
We've heard it all.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Hall of
Such a
Famer
brat.
Magic Johnson will be on the show.
Absolute
Please join us. He's being an objective brat.